Jennifer. Your big breaking TV. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Hello everybody, Batman7 and my very good friend Swifty, back with a new video, a bit different than usual, but we're going to be talking about what we would want from a Nightmare on Elm Street sequel, in this day and age, specifically with the planned Blumhouse requel. So, do you want to start?
No. I'm not exactly sure where to take it, so I'd rather you point us in the right direction.
Okay, so first I wanted to talk about how did we get into Nightmare on Elm Street and what the franchise means to us.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
Well, you have a longer history, so I think you can lead with this.
So, I got into Nightmare on Elm Street long ago. I want to say I was like...
It was 1892.
Yeah, it was about that. I was like negative 201 when I got into it. No, I don't know. I think I had known about it for a long time. I think I had first heard about it with Freddy vs. Jason.
The iconic crossover movie.
And I hadn't seen the movie, but I had heard about it through, if you had the Scream, I think it was like Scream 4, DVD, it was like one of the trailers on there to buy the movie or something.
Well, also it was a big cultural thing.
Yeah, it was. So that's how I heard about Freddy, I think. The name, I had always known, the name, Freddy Krueger, and you know the hand, and you know the classic sweater.
I think, characters like Freddy, Ghostface, Michael Myers, Jason, those are just names everybody knows.
Yeah, they're basically they're the Superman symbol of the horror world.
Mm-hmm. They're just characters so iconic that, you could just see a picture of them and know it's them.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so my beginnings on it are a little weary, but I do know when I got into it, which was, I became a fan when I was about 9 or 10, and I watched the first movie. My mom liked the movies growing up. It came out in her generation, and she had said, okay, you know what, you're fine, so we watch it. We watched Nightmare on Elm Street. I was petrified, but I was drawn to it still, and so I watched Freddy's Revenge after that, then Dream Warriors, and then after that, I didn't watch any of the other ones until much later. I had seen the remake, which we don't talk about.
We don't talk about the remake, ever.
No, we were not going to talk about it. But yeah, so I had seen those, and yeah, the first movie is just...
It's perfection.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. So that's how I got into it, and the movies as a whole mean a whole lot to me. I mean, they define a portion of my life, and they also are a huge part in one of my many loves, which is horror movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've been into horror movies since I was a little kid, since I saw the Universal horror movies from the 30s.
Yeah, I think my first horror movie was the Invisible Man movie.
That's a great horror movie to get you into horror. It's a terrific movie. And yeah, I loved Dracula growing up, and I loved Frankenstein, but particularly I loved Dracula.
Oh, absolutely. Those Universal horror movies are just perfect.
Yeah, and I grew up too watching a lot of Goosebumps. We read it from the library, so I still love Goosebumps.
Goosebumps was the thing when you were an early 2000s kid.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
it was great
the
too.
books,
It's still good. Like,
the books, the show, you know, I mean, there's a Goosebumps
oh,
show.
dude, the show is where it's at. That's what I want. That's what I'm talking about.
Are You Afraid of the Dark? Stuff like that.
Yeah. So that was that's kind of how my horror love started. And the first horror movie I fell in love with was Scream.
As it
I
should
was
be.
very young. I don't even remember how young I was. I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
And I would bring the Scream 4 DVD to school to show it off to my friends, or not my non-friends, because I didn't have friends in school, but people in my class.
To everybody.
Weirdo. Why do you have
know,
a Scream DVD?
he was trying to share the gospel of Wes Craven.
Yeah.
Would you like to meet the Lord and Savior, Wes Craven?
Well, they didn't want to because they hated the fact that I Scream 4 to school. But so that was...
It's a masterpiece.
Well, I'm mixed on Scream 4. I love Scream 4. Masterpiece, I don't think it's a masterpiece.
I think compared to a lot of horror today, it's a masterpiece.
I think Scream 1 is a masterpiece.
Oh, absolutely.
I also think Scream 2 is a masterpiece.
There's no doubt with those two. I also think
2 is overhated.
I also think rewatching 3 recently, there's so much good emotion in that movie.
I like 3. I never was one of those people that hated 3. I just don't love 3.
Well, I think that's one of the best movies for Sydney specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Like her,
it is good.
Like her material in that movie is like, it's one of the best movies for her character.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's how I got into horror and Friday Nightmare on Elm Street. Which is one of my second favorite, my third favorite horror franchise behind Scream and Halloween. I think they're all kind of in the same kind of...
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think the common thread of our horror loves is Wes Craven.
I think so. Yeah.
And I actually, part of the reason I wanted to do this video is Wes Craven's birthday was this past Wednesday.
Yes.
This will probably be coming out this Friday, so I wanted to specify. And Wes Craven really, to me, I think is the best director to touch the horror genre, which I think is a big statement. Of course, you know, John Carpenter is incredible. You know, you have all of these different directors who touch the horror genre. You know, Sam Raimi. You have.
I think Sam Raimi's just incredible.
You have the people behind Radio Silence. You have James Wan, so on. But Wes Craven, to me, is really the one who got every corner of horror.
Well, that leads into your experience. How did you get into Nightmare on Elm Street?
Well, same as you, the first Wes Craven movie I saw was Scream, which was obviously because of you, because you kept telling me about it. And after I finally got into horror, which was actually through Halloween, like that was the first real deal, you know, horror movie I had seen.
Yeah.
Because I'd seen, you know, almost a good deal of like horror adjacent things, but Halloween was really the first straight up horror movie that I watched, and that is when I fell in love with the whole genre. And then at like midnight in my bed, I just decided to watch Scream on my phone, and I was like instantly gripped in like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then from that, I decided to watch Nightmare on Elm Street, which you also talked a lot about.
Yes.
And I was just in love with the movie, like, for every second of it. And the love increased even more as I like got to Dream Warriors and New Nightmare. Because I think that's like a perfect horror trilogy, even though it's not technically a trilogy.
Yeah.
Like going from Nightmare on Elm Street to Dream Warriors to New Nightmare, it's just it really encapsulates, you know, how much Wes Craven understands horror and how much Wes Craven understands character. And also, I really fell in love with the practicality of the whole thing. Like the idea that, you know, Johnny Depp's room in the first Nightmare on Elm Street, when
Johnny Depp's the room.
Johnny Depp's the room. Like when he gets swallowed into his bed, and then like the blood just you know, like its whole fountain spurts out, which honestly is one of the greatest kills in all of horror, in my opinion. Just absolute genius, and the fact that it's shot upside down.
Yeah, it's a special thing.
Also, the way they did the bathtub scene in the first movie with the compartment under the bathtub, and I believe Wes Craven was the one who was who had the gloves on for that. And that's just really fascinating to me. Just how he made so many things happen in real life. Plus, like, the character of Freddy is just instantly iconic, and also the first iconic, like, the first horror icon that wasn't just a scary guy who didn't say anything. Like Freddy is so much scarier because he just likes to screw with you while he's trying to kill you. And I think that's why the franchise is so iconic. Besides the fact that it's like so endlessly creative, especially Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
Like the kills in Dream Warriors are like insane.
Yeah.
So that's really how I fell in love with Nightmare on Elm Street, and I just kept digging more and more. And also, sadly, I watched the reboot once, and it was terrible. But we don't talk about that.
No. The only thing good that came from that movie is I love the new finger knives. I love the new glove. I think it's cool. I own a replica.
That's fair. Though I
That's
think
the only thing.
I do think the original still is gonna be my favorite for me.
Sure, I agree.
Also, like, can we recognize how incredible New Nightmare is?
Yeah, it's great.
It's such a fascinating movie, and he just did that like 2 years before Scream.
Yeah.
It was like his first dip into meta commentary, and he absolutely nailed it right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And that was 10 years after the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Yeah.
Which is just, it's incredible to me that he still had such a great handle on this like these characters in this franchise after all that time.
Yeah.
And I wish Hollywood didn't, like, you know, take complete control of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, or we would have gotten more Elm Street that was purely Wes Craven. Not that the ones without Wes are bad. I just think they would have been even better.
Yeah.
With pure, like, Wes Craven energy in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I got into Nightmare on Elm Street, and
Beautiful.
And I really hope whatever is next is true to what Wes Craven first created.
Mhm.
And that's why
I agree.
I'm doing this video, because I think it's really important that it's true to the original idea, but also paves new ground.
Mhm. Well, what would you do? How would you make it so it honors the originals, but also does something new? What would you do?
For one, I think we need someone like the the duo that did the new Scream movies, who really understand what Wes Craven created, honors it, respects it, but wants to do something new. And also, I want it to be a subtitled Dream movie. I want it to be a sequel to Dream Warriors.
Mhm.
I think it needs to have the original Freddy.
Mhm.
There's no two ways about that for me. I think this should be the final. This should be the final Nightmare on Elm Street movie. At some point, it would be awesome to have a new Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, but I just can't wrap my mind around the idea of anyone else playing Freddy.
Mhm. Yeah, I can't either.
Because we tried that and it didn't work, so I'm very apprehensive about that whatsoever. And also, I think the Dream Warriors concept is so good that it really needs to be explored even more than it was in Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
And I think you could do some cosmic horror kind of stuff. Add that to the kill you in your dreams horror of Nightmare on Elm Street, so that could have a new layer to this older franchise.
Yeah.
Also, in an era where we have movies like Evil Dead Rise, I think we really one, we need to get more creative, way more creative, and we have to. I think we have to go harder, because there's a lot of competition.
Oh, sure.
I also think the person who did Evil Dead Rise could be a contender too.
I like Evil Dead Rise. It's good.
I think it has a really good emotional core, and they're really good at creating imaginative and shocking horror without it being cheap.
Mm.
There's some people that just do shocking horror that doesn't feel earned, but all of that movie does is earned.
Mm.
And it's a very emotionally gripping horror movie, which I think is what Nightmare on Elm Street needs. And what do you think about the idea of Heather Langenkamp coming back?
Depends on how she's used. I'm kind of tired of legacy characters.
Yeah, I feel that.
I either think you shouldn't make a movie connected to the originals, or you should have something connecting the originals with new characters.
Yeah, I'm of two minds.
Just because they do it wrong. They do it wrong
Yeah.
all the time.
I'm of two minds on it. Like, one, it would be really cool to just have a super small Nightmare on Elm Street movie, where it's just all new characters. Like, it's technically in the same world as the original, but you don't see any of the original characters. And, you know, we just get to see it through these new eyes of these new characters.
Yeah.
Or I really like the idea of honoring one of the best final girls ever, and honoring West too. Which I think both are really viable options. It just really depends on who is the director of this movie, who's the writer of this movie.
Yeah, I think it's, as well, what kind of story they're going for this time around.
Yeah. I think it would be a mistake not to delve more into the more out there concepts.
I mean, I would like that too, yeah.
Because I don't know if you've read any of like the original script for Dream Warriors.
It's different.
It goes even farther than the actual movie, and I kind of wish that we got that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it was really cool.
And I think that if this new movie is to be, worthy of the Nightmare on Elm Street name, that it needs to, go as hard and go as far as that script at the very least.
Yeah.
I also think that a lesson they need to take from Dream Warriors is the relevance of the story. Because Wes Craven took a really wide struggle in teenagers and really epitomized it in this horror movie in such a intelligent and meaningful way without sacrificing the enjoyment of horror. And I think there's a lot of stuff you could do today, considering all the stuff that is going on in the world. There's a lot of different things you could say there.
I agree.
So what would be your ideal Scream requel or whatever?
A Scream requel?
Sequel, whatever. Oh,
no, I thought you said Scream.
Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. We all slip up. I would say it's a must-have. Robert Englund back.
Yes.
It has to be Robert Englund. He's one of those characters where, and it's weird because you have such iconic characters like Batman and Superman and Spider-Man, but there's different actors can play them because there's so many interpretations to be done, and it's kind of like a hand down. It's not one mantle held by one person, but Freddy's different. Freddy was written for Robert Englund, and Robert Englund was the first to play him. It's different when it's not something like a superhero or something. It's almost like how I feel about Indiana Jones. It's like Harrison Ford has to play Indiana Jones.
It's like Indiana Jones, Luke Skywalker, John McClane, stuff like that. They're they're iconic, purely film characters that really can only be played by those actors.
Right. So Robert Englund has to be there. I agree with you. We need a writing team that understands the source material properly.
I think another contender for writing would be Kevin Williamson.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about him too.
Because I mean,
He knew Wes so well.
he worked with Wes extensively, and he's such a great horror writer. And I think it would be interesting to have his kind of flavor introduced into the Nightmare on Elm Street world.
Yeah.
I think it would be something really unique and interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. So someone who understands source material, someone particularly who knew Wes, as well, I want them to dive more into the cosmic aspect of Freddy and the whole world that they're in. I want it to have an old vibe. Like,
most definitely.
The Nightmare movies worked so well because of the time period they were set in. A lot of it, anyway. Like, I can't imagine having anything but the 80s. I mean, I'm not saying go back to the 80s, but have that style.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could. I mean, I hate to invoke the uber popular show, but Stranger Things proves you can replicate the style and, like, vibe of the 80s.
Hey, Stranger Things is great.
And do it in a horror, in a horror. What's the word? In a horror vibe, whatever. And do it well. And also, they brought Robert Englund on for the last season, so, like,
on Stranger Things?
Yeah, they did.
Who did he play?
I
haven't watched the latest season, so.
Oh, then you wouldn't know.
What was it, the villain?
No, he didn't play the villain. He played someone related to the villain.
Oh, okay.
And it was really good because Vecna was very inspired by Freddy, because, kind of like Dream Monster, basically.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of similarities, and the whole season had a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street vibes. So maybe get the Duffer Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
They could be another contender because they really understand that era really well, and they really understand horror.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think those are defining factors for me. Like, Heather Langenkamp, I'm mixed on that. It would be nice to see her. I would just want it to be done properly. That's all.
It would just be nice to get, like, one last ride with her and Robert Englund.
Yeah, and I would like her not to be a legacy character. I would like her to be a main character.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the problem with bringing back these older characters, is that they treat them as if they're old news, when in reality the reason I went to see Scream 5 was to see Sidney and to see Courtney Cox and to see Dewey. Like, that's why I went to see it.
Yeah, also like, honestly, I think, the Scream, I guess we'll call it requel, I don't know, whatever. But those Scream movies are probably the only, I guess, besides, the Halloween movies or whatever, the only ones of that style of movie, whatever, that honors the original characters really well.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say Halloween honored the characters.
Yeah, that's why I was hesitant to say Halloween, because
they started strong and ended pretty weak.
I thought the first one did it really well, but the rest of it was
2017.
Very
The 2018, my bad.
I actually have a video planned for later this year talking about the entire trilogy.
Oh God.
It's gonna be very in depth and painful.
Yeah, painful is a good word.
Yeah.
Especially Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
Brother.
It had some really good concepts, but they horribly screwed the pooch on all that.
Yeah. But yeah, those are my kind of thoughts on how I would do a requel or a sequel or whatever you want to call it. Honor the original characters, make it special and unique to this film, whereas also giving homage to what came before. Preferably Heather Langenkamp if they do it right, and Robert Englund is a must.
Yes.
So yeah, those are my main thoughts. And don't make it realistic.
Not at all. No. Because that was the problem.
They're too realistic.
That was the problem with the reboot, is they tried to adapt it to this trend in the early 2000s of like, reboot / remakes that were like uber realistic and stuff.
Yeah, I hate it, and it's still happening.
Yeah.
I hate it. It's really annoying. It's like, and people. The problem is that people like it. People are like, "Oh yeah, I want more realism." It's like, why? We go to movies to escape the real world. Why do you want realism in your movies?
It's not fun.
No.
Like, movies are fantasies. That's what they're made to be.
Right. Like, if you want the real world, then go experience it.
Yeah,
like,
it's terrible. It's terrible. You can embrace it away from the movies.
I'm also not saying don't make any realistic movies, but I think it's the kind of movies that they're making hyper-realistic.
Well, also, like, there's no problem with some realism, but for a movie to be a documentary doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, look at something like Oppenheimer. It is a biographical film, but it's dramatized.
Yeah, it's very dramatized, and, they make these, like, just little conversations seem like the biggest things in the world, which is good, because we come to the movies for a cinematic experience.
Right. Yeah. Agreed.
If you can't tell, we really love these movies.
Yeah. And we really love fantasy.
Yes.
Throwing that out there.
Yes. Well, we love some fantasy. So, so how are you feeling about a new Scream movie? I mean,
wow!
Screw myself. How are you feeling about a new Nightmare on Elm Street movie?
Generally?
Yeah.
Either opening night. I'll get my special edition cup and popcorn thing.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta go together.
Hey man, we should, because I've never seen one in a theater. And it's amazing that being a Scream fan as long as I have been, that I've been able to see 2 Scream movies in the theaters now.
I've sadly only been able to see one, but I'm hoping for more.
Hey, if we get 7, when we get 7, which better have Stu Macher in it.
Did you hear about the director news?
No.
They have a new director for it.
Oh, really?
It's the guy who did Happy Death Day.
Oh, Matthew Lillard. Awesome. Stu Macher confirmed. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I know Happy Death Day. Cool.
You should be good.
I did not hear about that. Yeah, I hope so. But yes, it'll be an experience for me. Especially if it's Robert Englund, I would be so excited, beyond excited, and I would be there opening night with my big old popcorn, my big old drink, and some snacks, and I would get rear seats in an IMAX theater, and just sit back and enjoy the movie.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, I just can't wait to see what this turns out to be. And I hope it is worthy of the incredible series that Wes Craven brought to life.
And I hope it's sooner rather than later.
Oh, me too, yeah. Because I really feel like we're in a really good time for horror. So,
yeah,
we gotta keep it coming. When's our Friday the 13th, just bring back Friday the 13th. I want a dumb, schlocky horror movie already.
Mm-hmm.
We got Scream back. Sounds like we're getting Nightmare on Elm Street back. Now we need Friday the 13th. We got Evil Dead back.
Yes.
We need all the horror, guys.
Yeah.
We also need new horror too.
Yeah, there's not really any good new horror coming out. To me, anyway. It's here and there.
I've heard some good things about one recently, but I haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah, me too. I think I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, I'm hoping for a lot of, I'm hoping for new filmmakers who really understand the genre and rejuvenate it, because I mean it has been struggling for a while, and I think with stuff like the Scream movies, Evil Dead Rise, I think we're making our way back.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, me too, because this genre is so important. So yeah, is there anything you want to plug?
I think you should do the plugging because you have more going on than me.
I got a full video schedule. I don't know when Puss in Boots is gonna actually be able to premiere because DreamWorks sucks. But it is ready, and if DreamWorks, stops being, the meanest people on the planet, then you will be able to watch that. Also, I released a video about transformation in superhero media just a couple days ago, and there is much more to come. I have a very long schedule of videos, and we're going to be talking about pretty much everything under the sun. So get ready, because Batman Ultra 7 isn't, stopping for no one. What about you?
What, stuff coming out?
Yeah, like what's going on?
Saving up for a PlayStation 5.
Nice.
I'm literally broke though, so I have had so many bills to pay lately, so I can't. Yeah.
I'm struggling.
Right yet.
I haven't gotten a job yet. I've been applying everywhere.
You'll get there.
I hope so. Because things are about to get real.
True. But recording a little bit, trying to get this record finished.
Dude,
September.
I'm so excited for you, man. I think when you get to the place you want to, this is gonna be a really special album.
I hope so.
Because from what I've heard from it, it's incredible.
Thank you.
I'm really proud of what you're doing here.
Thank you. Yeah, hopefully that's out by. I mean, I was hoping to get it out this month, but I'm not sure yet. If it's not this month, it will be September, early fall. But I'm hoping to get it out by the end of this month.
Well, it
doesn't have too much longer to go.
After it's out, I'll just I'll do a full video review.
You should do that, because me listening to my own music cringes me.
Also, we gotta do AJ tour sometime.
Yes.
I have been earnestly waiting,
been a while.
Because I love this podcast. It's really special. And also we only got 3 or 4 episodes out before.
Yeah, we didn't get many out.
Before the scheduling beast got us.
Yeah. No, we will be doing one. I hope very soon. If you guys haven't subscribed to AJ Tour, then you should go check it out.
Dude, yeah, it's fantastic. Also, when's another intensive treatment?
No idea. We haven't even recorded any.
You guys should also check that out. Intensive Treatment is such a great podcast, especially the episode on the Arkham Batman appearance in Chip Zdarsky's Batman comic book run.
That was a fun episode.
That was fun. That's one of my favorites. just such a fantastic podcast. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And just subscribe to Swifty. He's a great YouTuber.
Yeah, and also subscribe to AJ.
Thank you. I appreciate
Why
it.
don't you do that? Why don't you losers do that?
Thank you. I appreciate it. This is my first video on horror, which is so surprising to me.
Yeah. Well, hey. If it's got me in it, then it's got to be a horror video.
It does, yeah. So, that's it. Everybody, have a great day. Watch Nightmare on Elm Street if you haven't. Watch any of those movies if you hadn't. And
Yeah, please.
watch horror. Watch Wes Craven movies. And have a wonderful day. Welcome to Prime Time.
Bitch.
There you go.